What a great Christmas Eve.
Edmund Ruffin, I have come to you to warn you of 3 visitors who will visit you. There will be 3 ghosts as I. They will convince you not to secede from the Union, and you will do well to hear their ideas. Now I leave you. May their spirits guide your way.
Oh God, what a way to spend this Christmas Eve. Getting a visit from three ghosts? Well, it is inevitable, so let them come. Oh, I'm getting tired. Tomorrow is Christmas.
Ruffin, my greetings to you. I'm the ghost of the Civil War past. I will show you why the North wasn't completely responsible for the failure over previous compromises over slavery. Alright then, Ruffin. I will start by the 3/5 compromise our founding fathers used in the ratification of our Constitution. In this compromise, it was said that for every 5 slaves, 3 would be counted as the population to be elected for the House of Representatives. But in time, the South started to complain and started to push for the full count of slaves, leading to friction between the geographical areas. Again, in 1820, Henry Clay pushed his Missouri Compromise, which made Missouri a slave state, but prohibited slavery above the 3660 line, which would be Missouri's southern border. In the late 1840s to early 1850s, the South again pushed for more slave states and stirred up trouble in particularly Kansas and Nebraska. This called for the compromise in 1850 and the Kansas-Nebraska Act. Similar to the other compromises, this act was also destroyed by the pro-slave Southerners in the Bleeding Kansas battles and also the Dred Scott decision, which caused more controversy around this time because a majority of the pro-slavery judgment made the decision. Finally, preceding hostility by the South was shown by South Carolina's Preston Brooks's cane assault of Charles Sumner. I hope that these events show you, Ruffin, how the South prevented the succession of compromise. Ruffin, my greetings to you. I'm the ghost of the Civil War present. I will show you how the Civil War was triggered as the Southern reaction to Lincoln's election. As you remember, the election of 1860 turned out to be good for Lincoln, but not good for the South because of the 3 other candidates that were involved in helping Lincoln get elected. So, when Lincoln was announced the winner, as you well know, South Carolina declared their secession from the Union 4 days ago from tonight. In a couple of months, more southern states will secede, and on February 4th, 1861, they will form the Confederate States of America under President Jefferson Davis. Not all states below the Mason-Dixon line will secede, however, as there will be border states, which will be slave states that will not join the Confederacy. The only reaction under James Buchanan will come as the Crittenden Compromise, which will be struck down by the Republicans for giving too much south by extending the Missouri Compromise line to the Pacific. On March 4th, 1861, Lincoln will deliver his inaugural address in Washington, D.C., and will say that he will try to preserve the Union as much as it will permit him by the Constitution. He will also say he will try to protect the Union possessions in the South. One of these possessions will be Fort Sumter, which will be attacked by the South after Lincoln will try to aid the soldiers inside the fort. And this little battle will ultimately trigger the physical war between the North and the South. Ruffin, my greetings to you. I'm the ghost of the Civil War future. I will show you the results of the Civil War. Now, Ruffin, see how the South will be destroyed in the war because of the secession. I will first tell you what strengths and weaknesses both sides had in the beginning. The advances of the North will include greater manpower, eclipsing the Confederacy by 12 million people. The North also controlled the industry and had superiority on the seas, which made them able to administer an effective naval blockade. The only strength of the South seemed that it was only fighting defensively and on its own soil. Although it never turned out to be as a strength, foreign aid was having huge for the South from Britain and France. It was widely expected because Britain and France wanted to see the American democracy experiment fail. The South also expected aid because of Britain's supposed dependency on cotton, but at that time, Britain will have had an overstock of cotton, decreasing their dependency on it. Because the North succeeded in winning battles in clutch times, foreign aid never materialized. During the war, the Southern home front was transformed from a farming society to a war-pressed society, with most of the population going to war. Few progress was made in anything other than the war, and the Southern land will depreciate in value. Also, as the war will wear on, the support for the war will decrease in the South, and they will lose crucial strongholds in Atlanta, Savannah, and Vicksburg on the Mississippi River. And they will also lose moral battles in the Battle of Gettysburg, Antietam, and the Appomattox Courthouse. Finally, on June 17, 1865, the final Confederate forces will surrender a war the South will lose because of overconfidence and underestimation of the circumstances.
Alright, the ghosts have convinced me the session is not the way to go. I must call off the movement for the session in the South.